Date not yet announced.
The late Moi has been praised for keeping Kenya a relative haven of peace during a chaotic period in East Africa, which saw the genocide in Rwanda and civil wars in Burundi, Somalia and Sudan. Here is KTN's Foreign Affairs editor Lilian Odera with the life and times of the Nyao era.
He has been described as the ultimate doyen of Kenyan politics. Former President, the late Daniel Arap Moi, ruled the country for longer than any other leader since independence, and his legacy lives on in the current crop of leaders, many of whom he mentored. Then Vice President, Moi came to power in 1978 following the death of founding President Mzee Jomo Kenyatta.
That challenge calls for all of us to uphold unity and our valuable tradition of Harambee. Harambee! Yeah.
Moi pulled the strings of Kenya's politics throughout his rule, combined with a charismatic presence, often underestimated by less canny opponents, as he took over the reins with cautious optimism, attempting to fill in the shoes of the late Mzee Kenyatta. In his own words, he set out to follow in the footsteps, famously referred to as kufuata nyayo in Swahili. Moi succeeded in keeping Kenya relatively stable compared to many of its troubled neighbors. He worked for regional peace and eventually introduced political pluralism.
The root causes of this conflict are so complex that numerous previous initiatives have failed to arrive at a peaceful settlement.
He soon assumed his peace campaign. Here, the Ugandan Military Council, led by Tito Okello, and the then rebel National Resistance Army, NRA, under Yoweri Museveni, signed a peace accord in Nairobi's Kenyatta International Conference Center, bringing to a successful conclusion more than 3 months of difficult negotiations between the two factions. Events of August 8, 1982 would, however, alter the tone of his presidency. Diplomats said an attempted coup transformed Moi from a cautious, insecure leader to a tough, hands-on statesman. As Kenya's reputation for stability took a hit, Moi changed the constitution to legalize de facto one-party KANU rule. In office, he was feared and admired in equal measure. In 1991, Moi repealed the famous Section 2A of the Kenyan Constitution, allowing multi-party elections for the first time in 25 years. He went on to win subsequent elections in 1992 and 1997, despite opposition attempts to field a united front. And in 2002, Moi stepped down after being constitutionally barred from ruling for another term.
I relinquish power. My one message to you is that you should support our new president and our country and give up the good work that you have done so well.
Moi belonged to the small Kalenjin tribe, but kept control through links to other small tribes, exploiting their fear of domination by large communities. But his influence and power in the region could not be underestimated. Moi and Kenya became the focus of global interest, attracting the attention of leaders from across the world. President Moi walked away from public limelight in December 2002 to assume a quiet private life. 18 years on, the legacy of one of the last surviving independence leaders